What is up, YouTube? I hope you're having a great today, yesterday, and tomorrow. The Night Stalker update for Path of Titans is finally here. We have a host of dinosaur changes, map changes, general improvements, and a bunch of other things to cover. We're going to be deep diving into everything that was done in this update so that you guys know exactly what changed and what to expect. So take a seat, grab your coffee, or whatever you want to drink. We are going to deep dive into the Night Stalker update. Let's get cracking. Let's start immediately with some of the major changes that came in this update. First, we've got the 4 major reworks for dinosaurs that we knew were coming. Those include the Latinovenatrix, the Suchomimus, the Camptosaurus, and the Alioramus. If you guys want a deeper breakdown of what changes came with those dinosaurs, there's a link above to my previous video where we break down everything that came in those updates. Now, we also see that we have an added server option for the total number of characters a player can have and a maximum number of dinosaurs of a single type in a server. What that means is you're going to be able to have more dinosaurs, and if you have too many of one single dinosaur, let's say you have too many Latinovenatrix, you can now merge Latinovenatrix so that you can keep your marks and your decorations for your home cave. We also see here that you have control over how you turn in your quest rewards. You can now claim them. There is no longer an automatic feature that gives you the XP. You get to claim when you get your XP, which is really important for some people that want to kind of maintain their own personal growth on their dinosaurs. I like this one a lot. One of the coolest major additions we got is the ability to change your subspecies and gender in the home cave. Now, it will come with a price. You will be knocked back some growth, what looks to be about one entire growth section. So sub-adult, from adult. If you're a sub-adult, you'll go to adolescent. You guys get it. But you get to change your subspecies and your gender in-game where you could never before. It comes with a price, but this is huge for anybody that maybe built a little incorrectly or they want to try something else out. I think it's a really, really cool change. We also got more AI. That includes the frog ponds and the frog AI. We also got the Basilemis, which is a new AI critter that will be found in burrows, I do believe. Included in the AI are fish buffs. Now, this one is cool. All fish will now come with a 2-minute buff that will give you specific characteristics, and you guys can see that on the screen right now. Each one of the fish will give you a certain type of benefit to eating it. So it's going to be a little bit more specific for what you want to eat at certain times, which will really adjust the play style you have if you're aquatic or semi-aquatic dinosaur, because now you actually have a reason to find certain types of food. Now for map changes. Map changes are a big one. First, we're going to start on Panjura. Panjura didn't get a ton that I think is super relevant, but here's the list, and I'm going to go over a couple. First, we got an update to the burrows. The burrows will have a specific spawn section for the AI, so you'll be able to match your questing with certain specific burrows. It'll just make things easier for the people that are questing on Panjura. There's also an update to the mini-map, which I know a lot of people have wanted. This is just going to give you a better view of the landscape on your mini-map. It's going to help you understand the map a little bit better. It's been needed for a while, and Gondwa actually already has a pretty good mini-map included. Now for the changes on Gondwa, which seem to be a little bit more specific, or a little bit more, I think, relevant. The first is a general update to environmental sounds. I think the environmental sounds, the big one was when you heard water where there was no water around. That is removed completely, and I'm sure they changed some more kind of passive sounds that are existing in the environment as well. There was a mobile fix to Sharptooth Marsh where the plants weren't rendering properly, and now trees will not interact with the wind properly. It seems small, but in a game where immersion really helps you kind of become this character that you're trying to play, I think small things like this are going to help feel like the world is more full or more vibrant, right? You're going to really get the environment feeding back to you. And as a player, as someone that enjoys this type of game, I think every time you get to involve yourself in an environment that feels more alive, it's a really good thing for the players. As well, A big change, all hot springs on Gondwa will now give you the healing effect, not just a single hot springs. All hot springs now will contain the healing effect. Many points of interest in the map have also been updated and look absolutely incredible now. I'm going to do a flyover of all of these places so you guys can see exactly how beautiful some of them are looking. I hope you enjoy. Now let's talk about the part that I know most of you have been extremely excited for, which are the combat updates to all the dinosaurs. First, we see a general change in swim speeds for amphibious creatures. As well, all abilities will now cost marks except for the starting metabolism and starting attacks. There is a general cleanup of abilities, costs, and icons in most situations. And the one that makes me really happy is when you attack larger dinosaurs with small dinosaurs, there is going to be a benefit to that now because tail attacks now have a longer cooldown. You can no longer spam tail attacks. This is really good for pack hunters that like to take on larger prey. I personally think this one is awesome. We also have a list of specific changes to dinosaurs, and I'm going to try to burn through these. Remember, they're going to be on the screen so you guys can pause at any time to review these changes, but I'm going to break them down as fast and as streamlined as I possibly can. First, we're going to start with the Albertoceratops. The Alberta got the strong legs ability, the tough scutes ability, the stampede ability, the resilient scales ability, and they took away the bite attack. Second is the Alioramus. This one is one of the dinosaurs that found the new remodel and rework with the animations. So it got the ambush ability, the traction ability, a leap ability. It got a balance on the balanced tail and dense feathers abilities. As well, Tyrant Roar will no longer be able to be used if you're not in a pack. The Allosaurus. The Allosaurus got the traction ability as well. It received a balanced tail ability. They added tough scutes to it, a resilient scales ability, and they also updated the lightweight scales ability. Amargasaurus didn't see much in its changes, but it did see a lone survivor ability, a sturdy ability, and a resilient scales ability. The Odontosaurus got a bunch of new things added. Here we got the lone survivor ability, the paddle tail ability, the resilient scales ability, the strong legs ability, the thick scales ability, the traction ability, the burly ability, the tough scutes ability, and a general adjustment on the tail attack and bone break, a massive change to the Odonto. Seems like they were mostly happy with the Barsboldia because it only got the resilient scales ability added, and that is it. Seems like they liked that one. The Camptosaurus, another one that got a complete rework in this update. It was also given the alert call ability, the hop away ability, which is the cutest ability in the game, the tough scutes ability, the resilient scales ability, and an update on the lightweight scales. Ceratosaurus, some very significant changes here. Maybe the most significant out of all the dinosaurs. The Cera had the charged bite ability added, the leap bite ability added, the tough scutes ability, the resilient scales ability. There was also an update to the balanced tail and lightweight scale abilities, and the Cera now has better stamina recovery, and the crushing bite now actually does more damage the longer you hold it, which is huge. I know a lot of people were super disappointed that it wasn't quite working well. Now to the Concavinator, which got a nictitating membrane ability, a stabbing blood ability, a paddle tail ability, and an update to streamline and lightweight scales along with its dive ability. I know a lot of you have been waiting for this one, the Daspletosaurus. The changes to this one look significant and they all look really good. The Dasp got a heavy bite ability, a traction ability, tough scutes, resilient scales were also added. They were also an update to the balanced tail ability, an increase in health regen, an increase in sprint speed, an increase in stamina regeneration, and just like the Alio, you will also need to be in a pack to use Tyrant Roar. The Dino Kyrus got some new abilities as well. This got nictitating membrane, a thick down ability, which will now be its only hide, as a matter of fact, a webbed feet ability, a paddle tail ability, and a burly ability. Dino Nychus, one of my absolute favorites, saw a little bit in the way of new stuff. It was given the alert call ability and the rudder ability as well. It got a small increase in its swim speed, and the speed boost call is no more. EO Triceratops had a pretty standard change. It got the resilient scales, it got a stampede ability, and it also had an update to its sharpened horns ability. The Iguanodon saw some significant changes in my opinion. The Iguanodon got the paddle tail ability, it got webbed feet, it got the traction ability, and a tough scutes ability. They also updated the lightweight scales, which seems to be standard for all the dinosaurs, and they removed the head slot completely, which is interesting. The charge was also fixed so that the tail and thumb attacks no longer use the same cooldowns. Kawakia, a dinosaur in my opinion that has needed quite a bit of work to be relevant in the space, got some good stuff. They added the strong flippers ability, it got the skydiver ability, the resilient scales ability, and there was an update to its streamlined hide. A boost in swim speed, a second back limb slot. This allows you to carry more abilities on your dinosaur. This has been huge, and some general bug fixes. Kentrosaurus saw a general touch-up. They added the traction ability, the death rattle ability, and a long distance rudder ability, as well as an update on the lightweight scales. Lambeosaurus saw a standard veggie change in webbed feet, paddled tail, tough scutes, and a resilient scales ability. Latina Venatrix, one of the dinosaurs that saw some love in terms of a remodel for this one, and a main focus for the Night Stalker update, saw a Night Stalker ability, along with a Night Hunter ability, a Hiss ability, and a Call of the Night Terror ability. As well, they removed the standard hide and a slight increase to the swim speed. Megalania, another one of the dinosaurs that saw some love from the Night Stalker update, they gave it Twilight Menace, the Webbed Feet ability, the Nictitating Membrane ability, Toxic Immunity ability, and the Leap ability, as well as some general updates to the Streamlined and Dive abilities. Metriacanthosaurus, a focus of the Night Stalker update, saw, in addition to the Twilight Menace ability, the Venom Bite ability, the Viper Strike ability, the Balanced Tail ability, the Putrid Scales ability. We also saw a general update to the lightweight scales, as many of them as saw, and the bite and claw attacks no longer share the same cooldown, which means you'll be able to vary your attacks a little bit more appropriately. Pachycephalosaurus was also touched up a little bit as it received a balanced tail ability, a lone survivor ability, and a tough scutes ability being added. Now, the Pycnonemosaurus looks like it received some much needed updates as it got the balanced tail ability, the strong legs ability, a gripping claws ability, and a lone hunter ability. Sarcosuchus, another one of my favorites. It didn't get quite as much love as I thought it was going to, but it did get a general cleanliness. The Sarco received a nictitating membrane ability, a gator dash ability, interesting, the resilient scales ability, and an ambush ability. The Spinosaurus, a dinosaur that, in my opinion, feels a touch underwhelming at times, did not get the love that I think it deserved. It received tough scutes ability, a nictitating membrane ability, and it also saw updates to its paddle tail, streamlined hide, and it fixed the claw and crushing bite attacks. Stegosaurus, already a very powerful herbivore if used in the right hands. The Stegos saw a change in its adding solar powered ability, the traction ability, the resilient scales ability, the tough scutes ability. They also fixed the resilient scales and the tail swing so that it actually does more damage the longer you hold on to it. Struthiomimus did almost get no changes. This one received the hustle ability and an update to the lightweight scales. That is it. The Styracosaurus got some really good updates. It received the stampede ability, the tough scutes ability, the resilient scales ability, and the subspecies effects were updated so that it also deals bleed damage back to the attacking dinosaur when attacked in the head. Suchomimus, the rework I think everybody was waiting for. This has been the most sought after rework out of everything. Here we got nictitating membrane ability, a drenched blows ability, a paddle tail ability, a webbed feet ability, and an amphibious scales ability, as well as some general touch-ups during that rework to the animations and its bite attack. The Lasiodromus seems like it's going to need some more improvements even after this update, especially because we know we've got new flyers on the way. This one got the Skydiver ability, the Land Runner ability, a webbed feet ability, and a gripping claws ability, as well as an update to the streamlined hide, which seems to be par for the course for a lot of these dinosaurs. Now the Tyrannosaurus Rex, everyone's favorite overpowered beast, saw a little bit of touch-ups. It received the resilient scales and the lightweight scales abilities, and it will no longer get bone break if it's bitten with a bone break ability on the base of its tail. You also have an update to the Tyrant Roar where it still cannot use it if it's not in a pack. Here we can see some additional changes that are just listed to show you, and we'll go through these quickly. We see an update to running animations for the Eo and Sarco. The Eo also received an increase in stamina and speed. The Eo, Tyrannosaurus, and Spino all had their combat weight dropped, but the Eo and T-Rex got health added. The Allo speed was decreased, but the turn speed, stamina, and stamina regen have all been increased. Dasp now moves slower if you have the Bone Snap ability equipped. The Iguanodon received a stamina buff. I think that's great. Cerato and Pycnow now do passive damage when attacked. That one's interesting to me. I didn't see that one coming. The Sty now does passive damage when attacked on the frill. I like that. That one makes sense. And the Barus Boldia finally has a knockback on its headbutt attack. Now, we have seen every single update to every specific dinosaur in the game. Now we're going to go over some general updates and some general fixes for the game itself. Now, there is a giant list. I'm not going to cover every single one of them, but they will be on your screen right over here so that you guys can pause and review anything that you want to see yourselves. But I'm just going to cover the ones that I find to be the most important. First, we're going to go with general updates. First, we see an update to a bunch of the icons in the game. This is just going to make things look cleaner, a little bit more streamlined, a little bit more fitting. I like it. Fish now swim slower to make up for the reduced speed of the aquatic and semi-aquatic dinosaurs, which I think is like just a balancing of the game. There were some general updates to jump animations for quite a few of the dinosaurs, and you no longer have to confirm abilities when you try to attach them to your dinosaur. Remember having to click on the ability and then go to the bottom and confirm it? Nope. You click on the ability, it is now on your dinosaur. This is nice. It just adds cleanliness to the game. Nobody wanted to confirm it at the bottom. We clicked on it because we wanted it. A big one for the game, which I don't know if I like yet, is all members of a group will now enter combat if one member of the group enters combat. For me, pack hunting, this is really the only time that this affects anything, and I think it's a negative impact on pack hunting. Imagine you have a pack of 6 dinosaurs, you go hunt, one of them bites while you're healing, you're no longer healing anymore. I'm not sure if I like this one. We also see improvements to the venom and bleed animations, right? The drips, that I think is really cool. Those could have looked a lot better. It seems to me like they are going to make them better. Community servers also got some love, as you can see here. Looks like they fixed the friend list bug where you weren't able to like invite friends from your friend list. That seems to be ironed out a little bit. And there's also an update so that stats can be pulled properly from community servers, which will then be able to be adjusted in the server settings. And it just, I think, is going to make for community servers a little cleaner ability to actually adjust the server to play the way that the admins and owners intended it to play. Now, for general fixes, they went through and adjusted a bunch of stuff. Once again, I'm not going to cover everything. We're just going to go through the stuff that I think is super important. Here you see the entire list. It looks like they fixed the death screen bug. When you tried to log out and the death screen stayed up, that bug is no longer going to be there. Fish no longer teleport into your mouth when you don't bite them. So if you claw them or tail attack them, the fish is not going to end up in your mouth. It looks like it's going to either float or drop to the bottom and you're going to have to retrieve it. That just makes more sense. I think it adds immersion to the game, something they have really focused on in these updates. The shed button will no longer get stuck at begin shed. That was something I've experienced a couple times and it just is annoying. It's like on your screen up there. I don't really like it. Glad to see they fixed that. Looks like they fixed some swimming sounds for semi-aquatic dinosaurs. I know some sounds weren't occurring. Some sounds were only occurring when dinosaurs swam backwards. It was very weird. They also fixed a bunch of landing sounds, like the Latin and the Sarco got their sounds fixed, and some dinosaurs made a giant thump when they landed, when others didn't make any noise. They just generally fixed the landing sounds, which is great. They also fixed some sub-adults not properly showing the amount of group slots, so they weren't adjusting in terms of sub-adult dinosaurs. That has been fixed. There's also a good amount of visual glitches and bugs that have been ironed out, it looks like, as well as some movement, eating, and general animation fixes to a lot of the dinosaurs while they eat, drink, and interact with water and other items. And there we have it, an in-depth breakdown of the new Night Stalker update for Path of Titans. In my opinions, the devs did an incredible job with this update. And for me, it makes me really excited for the Path community because it feels like the devs are listening to the players and they really are putting hard work in to make this game great. If you guys are excited to jump in and try some of these new abilities and changes out, don't forget to hit that like button as it really does help show the video to more people as well. If you want to stay in the know on all news and new up-to-date information for Path of Titans and some of your other favorite games, don't forget to hit that subscribe button with notifications on so you never miss another video. I love y'all to death. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.